Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome, you're tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio Station, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, Tiki Live, Rumble, Podchaser, Spreaker, and more. Why so many places? Because I want to maximize my splatter zone for more hope and happiness, because there's no gossip, no scandal, and no K-words on this show. No Kanye talk, formerly or now. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. So I have topics and gifts, yes. Guests are gifts and co-hosts, new co-hosts as well to help you to that end. And there's the hint right there. I do have my newest co-host that is joining me this morning. His name is Larry Burton. And let me just give you a little bit about him. Those of you who were not here when he was my guest, he's the developer of the Pondera Process, an innovative energy psychology technique that effectively alleviates distressing emotions, beliefs, and memories. As a certified practitioner with over 20 years of experience, Larry's dedicated to helping individuals move forward in their lives with greater ease. His innovative approach has transformed the lives of countless people, helping them to experience greater peace, serenity, and joy. Please welcome to my studio as my newest co-host, Larry Burton. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
I am glad to have this happen. It's kind of a funny story how we met. He's a Friendly Universe product, and this is how I live my life. I wake up in the morning, I meditate, and then I say, "What now, brown cow?" And that's my affectionate nickname for my UPS man, my universal power source, who delivers every morning when I pray and meditate. And then the rest of the day is, who do you want me to meet? Who's going to be someone in my life in some way? And then you take over the story.
Yeah, it is truly a holy coincidence. This is what I like to call them, the universal power source. Yeah, we were just on our way to LAX, and both went in a different long-term parking place, and we're looking for the bus. We found the shuttle back to the terminal, and you were wearing some very engaging earrings, as I recall. The balls, there were 3 different colors, and I could tell they were Chinese colors. So I just arbitrarily asked you how many people comment on your earrings. And you told me that you were 3 little balls, and lots of people ask about them.
You're saying it in a nice way. I say those are my little balls.
Oh. So then for the next 10 minutes, we had a very engaging conversation. I got your book, and you asked me to come on your show, and here we are.
That's it. It absolutely, I just love the way my Friendly Universe works. It's a lot of fun, and look forward to having Larry on every first Thursday of the month. So this is the debut, and we're going to talk about kinds of things that Larry has worked with, and specifically since Straight Talk, by the way, if you're thinking that James is gone, he's not. Straight Talk with Dr. Marissa and James Hawthorne will be every Thursday except the first Thursday. And the reason why I brought Larry on Thursdays, one, James, is an actor, and he has gigs and he has auditions. And so in order to lighten the load for him as well, so he doesn't stop doing Thursdays every first Thursday, which is usually when he has quite a bit of what are they called? Not cold calls, cattle calls, or whatever. That's a modeling term, but all of that stuff in the biz. I thought I would, Larry's going to give him a week off, and Larry's going to have his week on. And the series is called, do you remember?
Our relationship relief, I think, is what we're
Yes. Because one of the things that Larry shared with me is a lot of people who are going through a divorce or whose relationship is in crisis or ending or in dis-ease do speak to him, use his process. So we thought we would put him into the Relationship Thursdays that we've been doing with Straight Talk. And that would be a nice little home for him. So those of you who have any kind of anywhere where you need relief in your relationships, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It can be a relationship with your kids or your parents or your boss or your employees or your friends or ex-friends or anything like that. We're going to reinstitute something I used to do, which was, call-ins. And they used to call me the kinder, gentler Dr. Laura. I don't know if you remember her, but I hope she's not listening. But that's what they used to call me before they started calling me Asian Oprah, before I was introduced to Oprah. So this is not a call-in specifically because we'll be on the NBC News Radio channel the following week. We are live here on my YouTube TV channel, as always. But if you would like to get some free coaching with any of the things that are giving you heartburn or mind burn, then just message either one of us. And we'll put you on the schedule for the first Thursday of the month. So that's a little commercial for the series. And now we're going to formally start with breakfast, which you've done before. So we're going to start off. The top of the bun is 8 things that you're grateful for every single morning. That is outside of yourself. Can't say friends and family, too general. 8 specific things that you like about your life and outside of yourself. And then the bottom of the bun is, of course, inside yourself, appreciation. What do you appreciate about yourself? And I do this Blisscipline and Good Life Habit every morning on the show, whether I have a guest or not. Speaking of guests, if you missed my fabulous interview on Tuesday for Tuesday Talent, Jerry Jewell, you'll remember her from Facts of Life, from Deadwood. She's the first actress with a physical disability that was cast in a regular role. Norman Lear found her, and she came on to talk about her new collection of beautiful writings and columns she just does for the Ability magazine. And she's just so beautiful. So if you missed that, just go to my YouTube free subscribe channel and you'll get that. That was show number 1197, I think. We're at 99 today. So that's also a little bit auspicious for us. All right. I just listed like one thing at least that I'm grateful for, which was Jerry coming on the show. What are you grateful for?
Outside of myself, right now, I've noticed the azaleas are starting to bloom again, and that's always a pleasant thing when they've gone quiet for a good part of the summer. So
beautiful.
Just some new color in the yard. So
are those purple things? Like
I've got some pink ones and some purple ones and red ones. So yeah.
With the little flowers that make a ball.
Start
Oh,
out like that, yep, and then they open up.
that's so beautiful. I'm wanted in 5 states for plant killing. So we just enjoy what other people plant.
There you go.
I am grateful for,
That's like me. I enjoy other people's dogs, so I
yeah,
don't want
there
to
you go.
responsibility. So I just
Yeah, same with other people's grandchildren.
exactly.
I'm grateful that I got to see 2 dolphins last night when I was out racing on the boat, and it was a pair, and it was beautiful. I gave it as a sign that there's still hope for my dating experience. I've had 12 first dates and 0 second dates, but I have a co-host, guest co-host that comes on to fill in, Ranella, who is just determined to get me paired off. So there's hope. The dolphins were beautiful, and then there were sea lions we went by as well. So it was a wonderful. We did better in that than we did actually in the race. So it was a good thing I had other things to occupy my competitive, disappointed mind. All right. One more from you.
Well, speaking of the ocean, when I met my second wife, it was at 25 years now. We've been married. She's always wanted to see a blue whale. And we've tried different times over the years. And then we went down out of Huntington Beach here about 3 weeks ago, went out, and there was 2 of them actually that were out in the channel feeding. So a major bucket list item here for
Yay.
that
That's wonderful.
good fun. Yeah.
Tell her I said hello.
Will do.
She was so adorable. She's like Larry's marketing publicist. Because show her the book, show her the on the show. It was so cute. It was so adorable. Yeah, I actually, one of our sponsors is the Newport Whale Watching, and so they send me sightings, and that was one of the sightings that I'm so glad you got to see that live. That is really amazing. Those of you who are visiting to Southern California, make sure you go and book a wonderful trip to the Newport Whale Watching company down in Newport Beach. If you would like a free pair of tickets to go and watch them, just go to drmarissa.life and put in the subject line Asian Oprah giveaway whales, and I'll get you a free pair of tickets to go and see that. It's a one-of-a-kind, beautiful experience. All right, going down to the bottom of the bun, and the bottom of the bun is, what do you like inside yourself? So what do you like about yourself? And this is a good life habit. It's my weight training challenge for all those who do not feel in good mental health. It's my BS, my belief system, that it starts with here. The buck stops right here, not on if you would love me more, I'd be happier or I'd feel better. It's if I love and self-care and self-soothe myself more, I will be happier. So that is the reason why we do this. So I'll start. I appreciate that I am sensitive. And sensitive, I used to hate it when people would say, "You're so sensitive," usually family members, until I found out that sensitivity is 100% correlated with creativity. So my sensitivity allows me to write music, to now write my first screenplay, to create my first short film during COVID. So all of those, or write a book that goes #1, all of those things are because, one of the reasons is because I am very sensitive. So I do like that about myself. Larry.
Yes, highly sensitive people have unique challenges. And really need to work on learning how to manage their energy to care for themselves. And, you know, what I've recently become aware of is that I am much more comfortable receiving good things and compliments into my life. So, look, quick, I was the eldest child of an alcoholic, and every time something good happened and I got my hopes up, the rug would get pulled out from underneath me. So I became very protective, where I just did not trust compliments or good things. And there was always that, yeah, I did that, but what's next? So it was hard to be comfortable letting that. And that can really mess up with your love life if you're not willing to let good things in. So it's, I am doing much better, and I'm not second guessing. I'm not doubting it. I'm just allowing it. And when I do that, more good stuff comes. It's like the universe says, okay, you're willing to receive. Here you go. Pass this on.
And there you go. It's a proof in the pudding of why this is an important exercise, to be able to, when you feel good about yourself, good things happen. That's the law of attraction. And I'm glad that you're able to do that. I know that many of us have that, what I call 99 compliments, 1 insult, and we let in the insult. Don't focus on the 99 compliments, or we're only as good as our last success, which is similar to what you're saying. You're waiting for that other shoe to drop. Doesn't matter how good it is, there's something else that needs to be better, right? Yeah, that was my dad. That was my dad, who also, I didn't realize he was an alcoholic until some memories came back of him, going to bed every night in front of the TV with some alcohol, which is not normal. So he would say, hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. And that was, again, similar to what you're saying, because you really don't hope for the best. You just prepare for the worst. But that's great. All right. And that wraps up breakfast for today's episode and our very first show on the special series, Empowered Relationship Relief. Thanks for joining us for breakfast. And I promise you that if you practice this hashtag Blisscipline for the next 28 days, with or without me on the air, on camera, then you will sandwich your day in the most positive way. Because frankly, my dear, if you cannot approve of yourself, how the fork do you expect anyone else to? All righty. Let's go to just a little history for those of you who did not see. Oh, we just got a heart on that. Those of you who have not heard Larry's story, I want to give him a chance to qualify or identify or share with you how he got to this place where he's helping a lot of people with the Pondera method, what that is, and sort of his own little journey. So I wanted to do this so that we always have it for those of you who, want to make sure that you're here every first Thursday, because he's going to be able to actually work this process, if you're willing, on whatever you're going through. And you can change your name to protect the guilty. You can be off camera, but eventually we're going to make this into like what I used to do, call-ins or actual on real-time coaching, happiness coaching. But it's going to be Larry doing it, and I'm going to, get to learn from him. This almost could be a train the trainer on here, but I have heard him do it, and it's a great process. So Larry, take it away.
Yeah, I'll give you the short version of this, essentially. So as I mentioned, I was the eldest child growing up. My dad had a very rough childhood, grew up in an alcoholic family, took on that practice, and that was continued on. And I developed what I call an overdeveloped sense of responsibility. So my ODSR. And with that, I then learned a lot of anger in order to protect myself. And that was my source of strength for the way that I coped. So like a lot of us, you take on these behaviors as a way of cope in order to feel safe, but they don't really serve you in the long term. And so we went along, and then I ended up marrying a woman whose father was an alcoholic, and the best thing that came out of that was some personal growth and realizing it was not good, and then 2 sons, so which are a blessing. And then it was clear that this was not a healthy relationship, good for her or me, so we parted ways, and I knew I needed to start doing work for myself. But I had grown up reading self-help books, and my undergraduate work was in sociology and psychology, and it was social work, so I knew about counseling. But all the self-help practices left me more frustrated than they provided success, and that seemed to be true all the way around. And then I went to a class and was introduced to neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, which introduced me to the whole world of energy. And I realized there's more to life than meets the eye. So we were taught the traditional medical approach is mind-body sort of thing, and self-help grew out of that. But when you realize that there's an energy component, now you realize that life challenges are 3-dimensional. They're mind, body, and energy. And the tools we've been taught are just 2-part, mind and body, which is why we get limited results. So I started down that road, and I worked with a lot of people that were in recovery from addiction and also codependency issues. So I worked with a whole range of challenges that come out of that life experience. Then about 10 years ago, I thought, okay, how can I simplify this? And I was familiar with the 12 steps. So I reverse engineered it to say, what are the principles that made that work for so many people? And then bring what I knew from energy psychology, which is the field, into that. So I blended those together and created the Pondera Process. And to give you an example, if you take the assumption that beliefs really are a form of energy that we learned, so you learn perfectionism, that we both learned to be not to trust the good things along the way. That was a belief that we learned in order to keep ourselves safe, but it doesn't serve you long term. So now how do you shift that belief? Well, you can use the traditional methods, but add to it an ability to balance the energy around that belief because it's being held in the nervous system. And when you do that and add it to the other components, you make progress with a lot less frustration and a lot more success. So that's what I've done. And then I realized that everything is a form of energy. When you get into the physics of life, the quantum physics, that's true. So every emotion, every belief, every memory has an energy component to it. When you tap into that universal source of love, which is the highest vibrating energy, then you can do that. The way I do it is simply just going through the heart center. It's just a combination of this and then breathing and the statements that I've developed for each application. So it worked. And then I got, quite honestly, Marissa, when I did this and I saw it working, and then I said, what in the heck is going on? And why is this working? So I dug into it and ended up writing the book Self-Help 2.0, and that's where that came out of. And just FYI, I'm intending to release a new book next month and called Empowered Self-Help, which will take what I've done and made it simpler to apply. So that will be available next time we meet, hopefully.
Yes, let me just pull that up right now, and so people can take a look at it. This is, and the reason why I'm doing that is Larry is kind enough to offer so much material for free. I was like, you should be giving away the farm, but this is what he would like to do and what he feels led to do, which is great. It's rare in this day of, I don't know. I need to find a term. I've been quite disappointed by self-development as a field, with people charging like a house worth of money to work with them or go through processes. I'm not going to name names, but you know who I'm talking about. I mean, it's not just him. There's like a plethora. The worst story I heard was there was a workshop, and they took a break to get everyone in the workshop to call their credit card company to up their limits so that they could charge 10 or 15,000 to be able to work with that person. And to me, that is so wrong. And it's kind of the indicative of where self-help has gone and how people are in an emotionally vulnerable state. And then they, are led to believe that they can, shift from what they're doing that they hate, and do something completely new that they're not qualified or skilled to do. And voila, you have our state of self-development today. So that's a personal little comment there. So when I meet people like Larry, who, really have this genuine desire to help, and money is not the motivation, the spreading of the relief is the mission. I think that's wonderful, and that's why he's my newest co-host, just in case you were wondering. All right, so this is your website, and you've got lots of freebies here. If I do this, you've got a free resource library, tons of stuff. Here's the little bio. You can hit start. This is your Asian Oprah giveaway today, which everybody and anybody can do any time of the day and anytime you hear about Larry and the process. This is your free trial membership. Yep. He's got a very affordable monthly cost subscription that you can get all kinds of material. And this is where the newest book is going to launch. Where is there it is. Self-Help 2.0 is the book that he first came out with. And here's download the free excerpt, A New Improved Path to Break Free from Stress, Anger, and Codependency. So this is you hit this, you'll get the link. That's great. Wow, you have a 4.9. You beat me. I only have a 4.8.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we'll wait for your next one.
All right. But I'm just a tad competitive. It's not whether you win or lose, it's whether I win or lose.
Well, that's where, I found in relationships, it's best to go for win-win.
Yeah, but it's not always possible to do win-win. And maybe that's why. Oh, good. We have Nikki Ackerman, who's a fan of yours, Larry. She was not happy when she wasn't able to come on live when you were on the first time. So I'm happy that you got that little message. And Nikki, if you would like to share, today is his first regular. He'll be on every first Thursday of the month. And we're going to reestablish what I used to do. You remember, Nikki, when I would actually do happiness coaching live. So Larry's going to reinstitute that. I'm going to give my 8 cents worth. But if you know anyone, and we've got a huge Agape tribe as well. That's how I know Nikki. She's a wonderful love streamer. If you have either any personal or one of your friends is needing some relationship relief, please do put that situation in the chat. If you would like to come on camera, I'll send you a link, but you don't have to. But I just wanted to say that, as this is the opportunity for anyone and everyone who wants to have some real coaching relief for your relationships. All right. So we're going to be right back. Take a quick station ID for traffic and news on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. AM 1050, FM 106.5, NBC News Radio, home to the Asian Oprah. We'll be right back in 2 and 2. Don't go away.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome back. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News Radio, AM 1050, FM 106.5. And this is Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show, and my very premiere episode of a new series here on the show called Empowered Relationship Relief, which I just love being creative with titles and branding. I said, Larry, you can come up with something better if you want, but I think that's pretty good. And welcome to the studio. Every first Thursday of the month is when this special series will take place. If you are in any kind of relationship that you need relief in, this is the episode that you will want to come and just schedule with us so that we can have you on with live one-on-one. Couples can come on, and Larry will take you through the Pondera process. Maybe not the whole process, but at least get you started. And that's what I want us to do today. Since I'm not in a relationship, we can't work with me. But actually, we could work on me. Specific to dating. But before we do that, I don't want it to be cringeworthy. But before we do that, I loved when you said every BS, which is my funny way of saying belief system, right, and memory and emotion has an energy, which you know, up until I met you and listened to the process, I knew that emotions have an energy, but the memory itself and the belief system itself has an energetic component or an energetic number. So I thought it would be fun and educational, excuse me, to ask you sort of, and I don't know if you've ever done a scale, right, on, you know, lowest and highest, but it reminds me of law of attraction. Abraham Hicks has a scale on, you know, the lower vibrations up to the higher vibrations. And she's got a list of emotions that go in there. I'm also remembering that my big brother, Michael Bernard Beckwith, had me read a book that is on my bookshelf called Power versus Force.
Right.
Yeah. Yep. Which also measures, right, the energy around certain, I guess it's emotions. It's been a while since I've read it, but if you would speak to that, and then we can quantify some of the things that you're talking about. That I think that would be useful for anyone.
Sure. Well, you can let's use emotions because that's what we feel. But what's important, introduce your audience to what's probably a new term called neuroception. So Neuroception, Neuro. So it's perceiving with your nervous system. And we really just realized in the last 20 years and established that indeed we pick things up from our environment through our nervous system first. We're sensing the energy of a situation or a person, and then it goes in process through the brain, which releases the chemicals so we feel the emotions and so forth. So everything starts with energy. And when you stop and think about, we were talking about animals, how do they sense? Why are they so sensitive to things? Or you look at a baby isn't processing, they're picking up on the energy of their caretaker and how they respond. So there is that reality that is there. Now, you go on and you say, okay, beliefs are really held in place by the energy of the emotions within the belief. So you can go back to a childhood experience where you felt some distress, and that belief has continued to be there, and you're aware of it. And when you think of it, the feelings from when you were a child come back up. It's because you have what I call an energetic bruise, and you're tapping into the energy there, so you're feeling it again. And we carry it along. We don't realize, no one taught us that we can tap into that higher vibrating love in order to balance the energy around it and to release that, neutralize it. So there's like a bee sting where, okay, I got stung by a bee, but I don't feel it anymore. It's just something that you can grow from. And you can now reframe that belief much more easily. So I don't know about you, but when I came out of the divorce, I was like very skittish, and how do you trust and all those things. And then you had to do that internal work in order to get to a place to be there and learn about how to set boundaries, how to keep yourself safe and still be able to show and be vulnerable and those sorts of things. So that's where that came. And then I just said, okay, if it's true for emotions and beliefs, why not memories? And it's the same dynamic. It's really the energy within that structure that is there.
So let me I'm a big application gal. Yep. So going through a divorce, that's something that a lot of people have.
Or any broken relationship.
Any broken relationship. The memory of that broken relationship has an energetic imprint.
Yep.
So if I practice the blisscipline or art of neglect, so I will be known to say, if you don't like what you're looking at, if you don't like what you're thinking about, quit doing it, right? So the act of remembering, so let's say something triggers me and I remember a negative incident that I had with my husband. That has an energetic imprint that impacts my everything, right? Emotions, my physical, all of that. If I continue to go down that road of, oh, and then that happened, and then that happened, and then that happened, I am choosing to go down the low vibrating, or I don't know where anger is on the scale. That is hurting me.
Yeah.
So take me through how I would stop doing that.
Sure. it's helpful to think of it in terms of having a bruise on your energy system.
A bruise on your
And I know that
energy. Ooh, I love this. Okay.
so
So
you're familiar. I know that you have experience with qigong and tai chi, and so you're working with your energy system. And we now know that that is primary to everything else that we experience. So
okay. I
when you
don't.
have an event in your energy, there we are.
Yeah, your internet is playing here. Are all your windows closed?
I've got StreamYard, everything. I know they're doing street work out down the road,
Okay.
so they may be
Okay.
something we have to deal with.
That might be it. All right. Well, we'll just deal. Go ahead.
Yeah. So just through life experience, we have these things and we get these bruises. And, it's sort of like you're walking with a limp. If you don't do physical therapy in order to fix the strain in the muscle or something like that, it continues to be there and you continue to limp. So we have these, we could call it an emotional limp, that develops. And fortunately, because we are spiritual beings, we can tap into that pure love that comes from source, which is able to balance out any other energy because it's a higher frequency. And just a quick aside and an example for your audience, there are high vibrating ones. Anxiety is something which gets your energy very chaotic, and that's why you feel nervous and get the upset stomach and the rest of it. Then you go down to the lower ones like grief, which is where your energy gets stuck and it's very slow moving like molasses, which is why you feel depressed. So you can feel the whole range of emotions because of their different frequencies. So to come back to your question, how do you address that? I start by just helping the person to connect with that source of love for themselves. So we have a process for the loving light where you just can establish and feel that connection and realize that indeed you have that divine spark within you that can connect with source and you can benefit from that. And then I just take them through the Pondera process for beliefs where we do that. And what happens is that as you begin to bring that love in and balance and neutralize the belief, it opens you up to reframe it.
So
you were able to take whatever learning that is there from it, what you'd like to call shiitake.
Yes, I do like to call that shiitake. Yes.
So you can begin to then use that as a source of growth and take a more empowering understanding of what happened. And we've all done this in the past. We've all changed beliefs at one point or another about something. Is what we're doing is now just shifting a belief around something that was very emotionally powerful.
So let's practice. I have a belief system that it's not possible for a man to love me in a complimentary way and respect my mind, desire my body, even though both are not perfect. So I have that underlying belief that I believe then affects my judgment of the guys that I'm swiping, or maybe it's a way to keep me unattached or whatever. It's not a strong belief, but there is some of that. So can you let's go into that place and just take a breath. I'm going to close my eyes and just do a little. We have about 12 minutes left. So just a couple of minutes, and or however, the least amount of time that you need to I want to feel that light.
All right. Well, let's just do this way. Put both hands over your heart, okay? And just repeat after me. Everything that led up to
My
believing. What's your old belief?
That I'm unlovable as I am.
Happened.
Pardon?
Say happened.
Happened.
It's over.
It's over.
And I am safe now.
And I am safe now.
Okay, now take 3 deep breaths. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And another deep breath. And one more. And switch hands. And take 3 more deep breaths. Just breathing in. It's over and you are safe. Your universal power source is keeping you safe. And repeat after me. I apologize.
I apologize
To everyone who hurt me.
to everyone who hurt me.
Or that I blamed.
Or that I blame.
For this limiting belief.
For this limiting belief.
Including myself.
Including myself.
I send us all.
I
send us all.
Send us all. I thought you said I'd sing a song.
Well, you're a good musician.
I send us all
Love.
Happiness.
And peace.
And peace.
And then 3 deep breaths. And switch hands.
And those of you who are just tuned in, we're going through a process right now to treat one of my BS belief systems, limiting belief systems. And you're welcome to breathe along with me so that you can get some of this healing too with Larry Burton and the Pondera method. Sorry, I had to do a little commercial. Right.
No,
Station ID.
Take a couple deep breaths.
Yeah.
One more breath, connecting with that loving source. And then repeat out loud, all the parts of me.
All the parts of me.
That receive some benefit.
That receive some benefit.
From believing.
Are believing.
From believing.
From believing.
And your belief that I can't be accepted and loved as I am.
My belief that I cannot be loved for who I am as I am.
Is healing now.
Is healing now.
And just see that golden white light of love flowing down into that old belief, taking the pain and the sting away. 2 more deep breaths. Yeah. Breathing love into that old belief.
Yeah.
Yeah, one more. Switch hands and take a couple deep breaths. Then repeat out loud, I choose
I choose
to replace
to replace
this limiting belief
this limiting belief
with the empowering belief of blank. Of what? What's an empowering belief for you?
That
What
I
can-
am lovable, loving, and loved, and can be so in a healthy, romantic relationship.
And breathe in. Now breathe in the power of love from source into that belief. More deep. Feel the joy of that new belief.
My UPS man is saying, of course you can, you silly goose.
This is what you're going to. Okay, switch hands and breathe into that new belief. Let me see the deep breath. All right, and then we finish with gratitude. Thank you, Universal Power Source,
Thank you, UPS man,
for completely integrating this empowering belief
this empowering belief
and this healing
and this healing
now.
now.
And breathe in that gratitude. Breathe in that acceptance. You're given the gift of a new empowering belief.
Can I come back to the room?
Switch hands and take a breath, and then yes. Okay. So that we've gone through a shortened version of it there. And what I would encourage you to do is put that on your gratitude list for the next, we'll do this for the next week or so, or until we meet next month.
I will do that. That's my homework.
And to anchor that empowering belief, giving gratitude for it, because you cannot express gratitude without first receiving it.
Wow.
And we'll be interested to see who you meet in the next 30 days.
In this next month. It's a good thing you're not at every week.
Yeah.
It'll give me time to anchor this. Yeah, Nikki, I agree. That was beautiful. Man, I'm glad that no one else called in or had something so that I could do that. And we'll continue doing that if y'all don't participate, LOL. I love you too. See, those of you who I have people who put me on a pedestal, and I knock myself off all the time. And that's why the name of my show is Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It. But I'm so glad I can have co-hosts who will help me practice what I teach. And this was beautiful. Thank you so much for the gift.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful gift. And I felt, it was funny, I felt a little fear bubble up in here at the beginning, that first breath, like it was like my heartbeat was started to race, and then I started feeling like burning in my shoulders, and then like that light, I could really feel the warmth of it. It was just beautiful. Thank you so much. And we're at a time. Guess what? I told you it was going to go fast. But I'm so glad that that we did that. That is, and we're going to have more of that every first Thursday of the month. Thank you so much, Larry Burton.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Co-host of, I couldn't get the whole thing in there, so it's Empowered Relationship Relief, but I like the relief because that's what it is.
Amen.
You saw Dr. Marissa get the relief today. If you could join me as in my sign out, Larry, you know the drill.
Oh, yes.
It's all about balance, peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. Now go and have the best day ever. We'll be back tomorrow with the Hollywood Rebel Report, my co-host Ricky Rebel. And in the meantime, I told you, go have the best day ever. We'll see you tomorrow.
Take back your life.